So this is hello. This is our second use case. Our use case is about to develop an alternative for a very common situation where the budget is going to television and YouTube, and they don't take into account the alternatives. And we want to explore if there are any alternatives. So this is the use case we will use, a budget of 400K gross budget, on target group person responsible for purchases, 18 to 54, plus in 1834 the younger age group. The period of the campaign is 3 weeks in November. We are taking into account television, YouTube, and look at the local online video. So here we are in our probe. We go to the parameters and select as a reference period the first 3 weeks of November. The campaign is running in the north of Belgium. Our target group is 18 to 54, responsible for purchases, and 18 to 34 over here. Our channel day parts are the TV, the sales houses with their packages, and of course, YouTube. True view in this case. And for an alternative, we will look at online video, long form and short form. So the rest is all set and done, so we can start our plan, our calculation to prepare the worksheet. The tool is collecting all the actual breaks because it needs to calculate the viewing time within the breaks and create probabilities out of that, which will be used in this worksheet. So all is set and done. Here we have our worksheet. First thing is to check the prices, see the cost per GRP. For YouTube, it will be 10 for this use case. For long form video, we assume a price of 30 ppm, and for short form, 20. Now I want to teach you something. I want to play with the view. I want to create a user view. Oh, 1 second. I have to do that. Adding of this user grouping from the base point of the day parts. And from that moment, I can go to another view and I can change the user grouping. This is just a funny trick and it gives you extra utilities. Online video on the locals, yes, but it's not all locals because YouTube is of course a global. So I'll change that one. And now I can use my user grouping to create my plan, and that's very convenient. So my summary view on my user grouping. So let's start with a very classic plan. We put all the gross budget, 400K, on television. That's just the starting point, and we give that name 100% TV. And we all know that doesn't work very well on the younger part of the age group. That's exactly why a lot of people bring in, by example, YouTube or online video in general. Let's create a new one. And in this case, let's assume that 50% of the budget will be going to YouTube. Is that a good idea? Well, let's check on the KPIs. Use the KPI button. On the main target group, indeed, reach is growing, and especially for the younger age group, reach is growing. So that seems to be a good plan. But is it actually the best plan? And in this situation, Probe can help you to explore new ways. But first, let's give this plan a name. So I rename it. And I say 50% TV, 50% YouTube, because that's what it is. So we create an alternative. How about keeping the television the same and bring 100K, the budget, to the locals? And now we want to see what's happening. Is it going up? Yes, I prefer to see a chart because I'm really a chart reader. It's going quite well for the broad target group, person responsible for purchases. And how is that doing for the younger age group? Oh, it was a big improvement to go to YouTube, but it's even improving when you bring your budget and you spread your budget between YouTube and the local online video players. But that's great. Yeah, of course you look at OnePlus, but you look as well to GRPs. When you look at this first 100% TV plan, you can see how not in balance the media pressure is among those two target groups. And when we look at the one where you bring all your budget to YouTube, you can see there is too much media pressure on the younger age group. So we switch back a little bit and we go to the locals, and you see that it's more in balance and the reach is even growing. And affinity is doing quite well. So you can check extra result types if you like to, because it's good to understand that there are many things a media planner is looking at, and it's not only OnePlus, not only GRPs, not only affinity. It's a mix of a lot of things. But one is interesting as well for the 3+, improving and slightly lower, but improving in this other age group. So let's give this one a name. It's 50% TV, 25% global online video, and 25% local online video. You probably know by now that you can create many extra scenarios, try different ways to spread your budget among the TV and globals and locals. But that's probably more from the same. So I think this gives a good impression on how you can explore, how you want to divide your budget between television and global online video and local online video. So, Sophie, what do you think? Are there any questions?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I wonder if we can see the overlap, if you can show the chart where you see the overlap.
Yeah, good idea. Press this button. And let's switch to the last scenario. That's the one we like very much. And we can see it on the main target group, all target group. We see it as well on the younger age group, 18 to 34. We see the YouTube, the unique reached, people that are only reached by YouTube, people that are reached by the globals, reached by television. You can do this in also in thousands. It's just what you prefer. Okay, that was a.
And if you turn back to, so here you have the scenario, the third scenario. If you can now go back to the one with YouTube to see the difference.
Yes, of course. Okay.
With TV.
The younger age group. Oh, probably.
Maybe in percentages it's more visible, I don't know.
Then I need to.
Yeah, so the overlap is 72. And if we now take the third scenario.
There's, of course, a much more spread.
It's, yeah, I see. And the overlap between TV and YouTube is also a little bit less. So indeed. Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe another question. You showed the spread of the GRP, which is much more in balance for the two groups, target groups. And then you have another one, which is effective CPM, which also show the spread. How do we have to read this in a scenario where there is 100% TV?
Right, because you can translate cost per GRP to CPM. So even
Okay.
a TV plan has a certain price per 1,000 people reached.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's the same inventory that is translated in another parameter.
In another parameter, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, that's it for now.